You ready for the biggest lie I told myself on keto that led to weight gain? Now, as the scale began inching up week after week, my mind went right back to the blame game. Every other diet's failed me, so why would keto be any different? Everyone warns against high fat diets, so I guess they were right. Why won't any diet ever work for me longer than a few months? But all of the warnings to avoid keto weren't actually proving to be true. The truth is, keto wasn't failing me. I was failing at keto, even after so much success. Now, once I got back into the keto groove, losing weight just became effortless. I had amazing energy, I got to eat delicious meals, and I was even able to skip past the typical, I am so freaking hungry, give me that sandwich now before I cut you kind of dieter's mentality, since on keto I got to eat fat until I felt good. But then all of a sudden the pounds started creeping back on. And while my first instinct was to blame keto, it really wasn't keto at all. Now, maybe you've heard me on social media talking my big talk about how I lost 110 pounds, and after more than 20 years of yo yo diets, this is the first time I haven't gained that weight back. But that's not always completely true. There are times, and there have been times, where the scale moved the wrong direction. And even though my first instinct when the scale moves the wrong way is to blame keto, it's just not keto's fault. I became too comfortable and those sneaky little carbs began creeping back into my day. I got to the point that I often warn others about where I was eating too many carbs plus too much fat. Then my body was all, if you eat one more carb, I will throw you into the worst weight loss stall you've ever seen. Except our bodies don't really talk to us like that, and they don't throw out ultimatums. They just jump straight into temper tantrums and start storing fat, and you don't understand why because you think you're still following the same rules. And then, when you experience a weight loss stall, you blame keto just like I did. So instead of blaming keto, let's talk about the real problem, those sneaky little carbs that keep creeping back into your day. My computer is about to die, so give me 1 second. Plugs. All right, there we go. So those creepy little carbs are sneaking back into your day. So sneaky carb tactic number one is you stop tracking carbs. So when I talk about carb creep, there are different ways that unsuspecting carbs can creep back in. Sometimes you're in the swing of things and seeing results without having to track, so you really don't notice carb intake inching up day by day. No one really loves tracking carbs, and it's easy to get a little lazy and stop tracking. So maybe you assume you're still eating the right amount of carbs, but you find yourself in this never-ending weight loss stall just because your body, it obviously hates you, and your body just wants to be difficult. But often, if you switch all of that energy that we often use to play the blame game towards tracking carbs instead, then you might realize that you're just eating too many carbs. And as I tell our Keto Decoded members all the time, too many carbs plus too much fat will lead to weight gain. Of course, we all want our food freedom, and none of us want to worry about tracking every single morsel that passes our lips. But if you are stuck in a weight loss stall, the first thing that you should do is get back to tracking to see if carbs are creeping back in. Just remember, all of the carbs you eat count, whether you choose to count them or not. So make sure you're tracking those carbs so they're not sneaking back in. Now, sneaky carb tactic number two is not checking the carbs on something before you eat it. So when I hold a keto challenge, I teach challengers that keto is a high-fat diet, and if you don't eat enough fat to trigger ketosis, then you won't get results. So a lot of people come into the challenge, they end up eating more food than they were, and they get big results. However, during the last challenge, one of the challengers posted that she ate an orange and then she looked up the carbs after she ate it. So that seemingly innocent piece of fruit that we're all told is healthy has 20 grams of carbs in just one orange, which is what a lot of us eat over the course of one day. So maybe you're thinking, obviously we're not supposed to eat oranges on keto because they are packed with sugar. But I'm sure at some point you too were told that oranges are healthy because they're filled with vitamin C, and of course you should eat oranges as part of your healthy diet. So this challenger thought that she was doing the healthy thing, and she didn't realize that the orange was not right for her until after she already ate it, and then she looked up the carbs. So of course then we know it's too late because that orange packs most of the carbs that you should eat for the day. So if you're unsure of the carbs in a food, even if it's a food that you were previously told was healthy, make sure you take the time to look up the carbs before you eat something. And this can especially be a problem if you're new to keto because eating that one orange, especially all those carbs in one sitting, can kick you out of ketosis. And then it can take new ketoers up to a week or more to get back to the fat burning state of ketosis. So you don't want that to happen. All right, sneaky carb tactic number 3 is carb creep from unsuspecting places. So last week, I posted my version of chicken lettuce wraps from P.F. Chang's. If you haven't tried them yet, I don't know what you're waiting for because they taste amazing. But if you're thinking, why not just skip the prep work and order the real deal? If you were to look at P.F. Chang's website and search the nutrition of those wraps, you find that they have 66 grams of carbs. I mean, how is that even possible? These wraps are made up of chicken that's not even breaded, and they're served on lettuce. How could they possibly have 66 grams of carbs? And of course, some of you know the answer is in the sauce. So many of these tasty sauces that you're served at restaurants taste so good because they are loaded with sugar, and then you make the assumption that because they're grilled chicken and lettuce, they should be low in carbs. You eat them, and just like that, you're kicked out of ketosis yet again. And you're not the only one who makes this mistake because I've definitely had these reps many times assuming that they were keto friendly. And it wasn't until I took the time to look up the nutrition that I realized just how un-keto friendly most restaurants are. So lucky for you, most restaurants' nutrition information is available online. So if you're ordering something, don't just assume it's low carb. Make sure that you're always looking up that information before you order. And if you can't find the nutrition, just order the sauce on the side and steer clear of anything that has that extra sweet sauce. All right, so these are only a few of the ways that carbs can creep back into your plan and keep you stuck. There are many others, but of course, these are the kinds of lessons that I will be teaching in a few weeks during the next keto challenge. I'm getting excited. You can register for the next challenge starting June 8th in just a few weeks. With our previous group of challengers losing 262 pounds in only 21 days, I'm so excited to see what the next group of challengers have got to see if they can beat that record. All right, so get on the list now to get my keto challenge prep tips. Now's the time to get ready for the next challenge, not later. You want to start now so you have your best chance at winning $500 and getting these same amazing results. Plus, you want to be on that list so you don't miss out on early registration bonuses. This time, they're really good. So you can get on that list at eatingfatistheNewSkinny.com/challenge list. Now, before we wrap up, let's quickly review some of the ways carbs can creep back into your plan. So number 1, you're not tracking carbs anymore. Number 2, you're not checking carbs before you eat a food that you assume is healthy and you assume it's okay on keto. They're not always okay. Number 3, carb creep comes from unsuspecting places, especially from a lot of those restaurant favorites and sauces. So be sure that you're checking the carbs before you just eat something. And of course, before we go, this week on Chat the Fat, it's the last of our 3-part episode on weight loss stalls. Eating too many carbs is only one reason for a weight loss stall. So if you want to make sure that you don't end up in a weight loss stall, you can check out that full episode at chatthefat.com/episode 57. And I will be back next week to chat about why you can't poop now that you're following keto. There are a few reasons why you go keto and all of a sudden you get really constipated. No one wants to talk about not pooping, but we are going to come back here and we are going to talk about it. For those of you on Instagram, I am going live on Instagram in about 20 minutes with the Elite Mastermind for a quick interview. So I will see you over there. My handle is @eatingfatistheNewSkinny. All right, we'll chat soon.